Good day, folks. Welcome to 406 Regen. Just out here grabbing a few bales. As you can see in the mirror. Moving the animals here before the sun thaws out the ground too much and makes it too slimy. We're out here on this clay hilltop, so I gotta make sure I get them moved before that happens. Otherwise, I'll just be tearing up the ground and I won't be improving it, which is my goal, is to improve it. So it makes no sense just to come out and really rip it all up with the tires and trying to slide around and getting stuck. So I have most of the hay unrolled. I got these two good ones on the back I got to put out, and then I might unroll another one or two of the straw bales. But for the most part here, other than getting these bales unrolled, the job's done already. Been out here 2.5, 3 hours, I guess. But that ain't really. I had to fight to get my fence out of the ground because it froze down good last night. So all my teeth for my post were stuck down in the ground. Couldn't get them in, so out. Had a hard time getting them in. I'm gonna have to walk back along my fence here later today after we've had some thaw and go ahead and push them all back in again. So looks like people showed up, and of course people always come to try to help you out. You gotta have patience because they don't know what's going on, and then they just park vehicles right in the gateway. So I'm gonna go ahead, unroll these bales, move the pickup of course, and get back with you. Alrighty folks, as you can tell, I got quite a bit unrolled out here. A lot more of the straw per se than the good hay, but they will get it spread around very good. I didn't hit this area too well, unfortunately, but as you can tell, it done did get started getting a little warm on me here already. So should have got out here just a little bit earlier. Now I went ahead and left the dog in the truck because I'm not going to need him at this point. After these girls go ahead and, watch you unroll all their feed, they don't. This is what I had a problem with this morning too. It's froze down. Very hard to get out of the ground. And I got to use both hands for this. Hold on. They still got to take down the other side.
Break it?
Yep. Sure did. Alrighty, folks. Well, they done did flatten that side of the corner. That's how it goes. As you can tell, out here's pretty good. This here area right here is pretty deep in this area, but we got some good cover on here. Might have to bring some harrows or something out. Go ahead and get over it, but for the most part, there's not too many thick places out here, so we should be doing pretty good. But now I just gotta drag this kennel in and get back with you. All right, everybody, we got the kennel moved. Got the boys back in here. Well, not back in here. We got the boys in here. They were on that side of the fence. Now they're on the side. Seems to be working pretty good, keeping them like this. they get plenty of area to run here, and nothing's getting to my sheep, but yet they're not being stressed out because of dogs with them, which they really shouldn't. But when I'm not able to be out here all day long watching these guys, and then, you know, that one there's still pretty young yet, so well, I guess they're basically the same age, so they're still pretty young yet to be really trusting them too heavily. When I didn't have an adult dog out here to teach them not to chase and not to latch on to a lamb or nothing, so. But yeah, like I said, you know, got a few areas that they're just too thick. But for the most part, not too terribly bad. This other side, it might end up a little bit. I might end up with more of the thick stuff because I put out more of the dead straw. As you can tell, they really don't mess with it too much, which is a little disappointing. I was hoping they'd at least kick it around. But yeah, like you can tell, there's, you know, this here's the ground right there, and this is too much in this area right here. So I'll have to come out here with a pitchfork or something and just kind of smooth those areas out to get them better spread out, so I don't end up with just bare ground like this here. It's just bare and muddy, and it's just going to get that much worse the further we go this way. And see, I got to run them to the corner fence there and then go this way with them and back, and that's on top of the hill, so it's just going to be that much worse that won't, you know, I'll have to be out here in the mornings to do the job. But as you can tell, they absolutely love it to get on some fresh ground. They don't know where to start eating because it's always better than where they're at, so they always just got to run around. See that there area is kind of missed, so I'll go ahead and try to unroll this over that until it starts sticking in the middle of the cord, and then it's just the animal's job to mess with it from there. This one's actually going to unroll all the way. So, as you can tell, everybody gets happy. You got the December calf there. She's looking pretty big already. Found herself a scratching post. But yeah, I gotta get off this field now because my boots are slipping when I'm walking around, so I know it's starting to get slimy here. So I gotta get that heavy pickup off. And now these, well, I guess my uncle's doing that for me. He's getting the heavy truck off. And these, you know, I'm gonna start moving them faster now that it is warming up. So I'm going to end up with more heavy areas that I'm going to have to do something with because I'm going to be moving them faster. They won't have the time to kick it all around. But my goal is get down to that corner and back to the power line, which you can see, and then start back this way again, working west in these blocks. Start back this way before we start lambing. So I'm going to have to speed up the process here. I want to get as much of this ground recovered with straw and hay, manure, get it as fast as I can here, get it recovered up. So, because I'm very excited to see what this will do in the springtime. In some of these heavier areas, I'm hoping I don't bring in too many weeds. That being said, down along this fence line down here, there's some thistles because this was plowed up ground before I knew what regenerative ranching was. We had plowed up this 38 acres. So now I'm trying to repair it. But if I get too thick of areas where it's just really, really thick, the hay I lay down, it won't grow nothing except a weed or two, and it'll take a few years for it to actually do something. So I'm trying to get to where it's not so thick, but a good amount. I want it covered, because if it gets any moisture this spring, the more ground I have covered, that ground will be able to maintain the moisture better than the ones that don't. So just gonna be out here kicking a couple of these bales around. Well, it's nice it's going by itself, but it ain't really unrolling much. They're so worried. Anyhow, just thought I'd kick some of these cords around and leave some of them up because they love to jump on them and scratch on them. So, but I'm going to go ahead and kick some of these around. Oh, that one's way lighter than I thought it was. This one I might not be able to get to do nothing because it's just all fluff. There we go. And the funny thing about these sheep is that they absolutely love grazing. Even more so than the hay. They'll eat the hay, but for the most part, these sheep are just going to run around and try to find all the little green shoots. You're going to wreck up my field and get the candy first. Typical kid. Want the candy. And there is plenty of good alfalfa in that green and those. That's really good hay. So it's not like they don't got candy. It's just they prefer to graze. Come on. Okay, you're not doing nothing. So, that's what I did today. The last few days I've been out moving some hay around, doing a little bit of trucking. So I had to move them today. And like I said, it's starting to warm up, so I want to speed up the process of moving them around. Just for the fact, trying to cover as much ground as I can now. I know a lot of people start slowing down the spring if you got the grass and the shoots, but that's all adaptive to your area. I know that my sheep won't be back here on this ground until next year. I might depending on how it grows, I might, I probably won't winter them back in this lower section. I'm probably going to lamb them. I'm going to lamb them up here. So I'll probably winter up there and then lamb them down here next year. And then that should be pretty good. That should be a pretty good cover of all the hay and stuff. And then we'll see what the field does. But sounds like the dogs found a bone or something over there. They're pretty good about working out their issues on bones. Here the other day, I actually had to intervene with them because GW is getting his butt kicked quite heavily and quite quickly. But I corrected Ranger. I mean, they don't care about their kibble. I can feed their dishes right next to each other. They don't care. They just eat what. If there's kibble there, they eat it. Don't matter what dish it's in. A bone or a treat, on the other hand, that's different. Too good to share, I guess. So, like I said, just kicking out some of these cores, and then leaving some when they're not wanting to do what they want them to, like that one. Should have unrolled, but didn't. Anyway, so that's the move for the day here. I had a heck of a time getting in my fence because they were stuck in the ground. It froze pretty good last night, which is what I wanted. But then I couldn't get the fence out or in. So later today, I'm gonna have to come back out here and walk the perimeter of the fence and push all of my posts back in. And then I guess this next move, I'll have to fix that other corner post because the sheep decided to take it down. It was so nice of them. But, alrighty folks, that'll do it for today. Y'all have a good one.